I had a nearly 5-year suffering and battle with Lyme disease, mold illness, long COVID, and a laundry list of multiple life-threatening medical conditions that I was told there was no cure for. Doctors told me I'd spend the rest of my life managing my suffering and symptoms on lifelong drugs, living a less than quality life. They were wrong. Not only did I fully recover from Lyme disease and all the co-infections, I recovered from nearly 18 other medical diagnoses that came from my body collapsing under the weight of chronic infections. I beat and cured what the world and experts said was incurable. I cured the impossible. And on this channel, I'm going to show you exactly how I did that. Welcome to Beating Lyme with Lativa. My story, my journey began like so many others. I was perfectly fine and healthy my entire life, and then boom, it's like it hit me out of nowhere. In 2021, I unknowingly moved into a water damaged building that was full of mold. Mainstream media and medical research depicts mold and downplays mold as if it's just a few little allergies. No big deal. They downplay it like they do everything else. This moldy apartment almost took my life. What began as a thick mucus that I could not clear or get rid of, massive anxiety and panic attacks out of nowhere that would leave me hospitalized, debilitating brain fog, bloating like I was 6 months pregnant on a petite 100-pound frame, newly unexplained gut issues, numbness and tingling in my hands and feet, the scariest of all when I knew something was wrong, heart palpitations and heart issues, quickly turned into a full-blown medical crisis. I was not only exposed to mold, but now unknowingly, as my immune system went offline from the mold exposure, everything laying dormant in my body lit up and took over, including Lyme disease, Babesia, Bartonella, long COVID, hepatitis, mycoplasma, and a cascade of serious medical diagnoses that followed, about 18 and counting. At different points, I was diagnosed with things like multiple sclerosis, MS, lupus, POTS, autonomic dysfunction, MCAS, CIRS, hepatitis, diabetic type episodes, severe gut infections like H. pylori, SIBO, C. diff, and leaky gut. My organs were affected, all of them. My heart, my liver, my kidneys were giving out on me. I had episodes where my body was shutting down, and I came dangerously close to cardiac arrest on several occasions. Food became my enemy. Healthy whole foods that normal people eat every day were sending me to the hospital. My body was so damaged that I developed extreme insulin resistance and diabetic-like episodes, even though I wasn't diabetic. At my worst, I dropped down to 79 pounds. I was skin and bones. And I was being passed around from doctor to doctor like a lab rat. Doctor after doctor told me the same thing. You're young, you're healthy, your tests look okay, we see a few things, it's probably just anxiety, go home. I was gaslit continuously. I was dismissed continuously. I was shown the door on several occasions as I got more aggressive advocating for myself and misdiagnosed. Even specialists didn't know what to do with me. I was seen by probably over 50 different specialists all over America, and everyone was scratching their heads. They didn't know what to do with me. At one point, I was working with a functional practitioner in Michigan as I was in Las Vegas at the time, and that practitioner dropped me in the middle of a detox protocol they had me on because my case became so severe and they didn't want a liability on their hands. Eventually, doctors told me the words that many Lyme patients hear. There is no cure. You'll have to manage symptoms the rest of your life. but something inside of me refused to accept that. I said, no, there has to be another way. I'm not accepting this. So I did something I never imagined I would have to do. I became my own doctor. I spent years obsessively researching, experimenting, and searching for answers when conventional medicine experts and specialists had none for me. And eventually that search led me outside of the United States to a Russian doctor in Europe who had been successfully using a medical dry fast protocol for over 40 years to treat all sorts of chronic illnesses and diseases. Dry fasting is the complete abstinence of food, water, or any contact with water while dry fasting under medical supervision. No food, no water, no showers, no teeth brushing, no contact with water. The goal is to push the body into a powerful biologic process called autophagy, where the body begins breaking down damaged cells, infection, and disease. In simple terms, it's the body begins to eat what's making it sick. Through multiple rounds of medical supervised dry fasting, my body began to heal in ways doctors told me was completely impossible. During my darkest moments when I was fighting just to stay alive, I prayed this to God, and I made a promise. I asked God that if God showed me a way to truly heal, beat, and cure this, if God made a way and showed me a path out of this suffering, I would dedicate the rest of my life sharing it with the world. To be the answer to someone else's prayers who also is out there unnecessarily suffering the way I was at the hands of negligent medical incompetence. God kept God's promise, and now I'm keeping mine. This is exactly why my channel exists. This channel is not just about my story, but how it can help others truly heal and overcome not just Lyme disease, not just mold exposure, but chronic illness, medical conditions that the world says is incurable. It's about challenging everything we thought we knew about Lyme or what we've been told about Lyme disease. Because from my research and my personal experience, much of the information currently circulating about Lyme disease is outdated, incomplete, and just flat out wrong. The testing is flawed, the treatments do not work, and yet the Lyme disease patients are forced to accept this as a norm. It should not be normalized. It's already broken. It clearly doesn't work, but we're being forced to accept it like that's the way when it doesn't even work. And many patients are left stuck in endless rabbit holes of fear-mongering, confusion, anxiety, and suffering with no true help, answers, solutions, or relief. But I have forged a path to show and prove that complete healing is possible. I am living, breathing, walking proof, and if this worked for me, it can work for anyone else. And I'm here to share that path and testimony with the world. On this channel, you'll find my full healing journey, my fasting experiences and success, the science behind autophagy and dry fasting, the Russian dry fast expert I worked with, what I learned after 5 years of chronic illness and obsessively researching and basically turning into my own doctor and answering questions and bringing solutions about for myself that not even doctors could. And how the body can truly heal when it's given the right conditions. If you are someone suffering with Lyme disease, mold illness, chronic illness, or mystery health problems that doctors can't seem to solve, I want you to know something. You are not crazy, you are not alone, and there is more hope than you've been led to believe. My name is Lativa, and this is Beating Lyme with Lativa. If you want to follow this journey and learn what helped me reclaim my life, make sure you subscribe because healing is closer and more simple than you think.